this morning. This morning we have the myth, the legend, the man, Mr. Steven Aguilar, who's been in business since 1981. Oh my gosh, right? See, what I like about every time we interview somebody like you, Stephen, is that you demonstrate consistency in life, right? So most real estate agents or most people in general, they couldn't last doing anything more than 10 days. And you've been in business at the top of your game since 1981. So before we dive into all the details, why don't we start with you, Stephen? Why don't you introduce yourself, how long you've been in the business, and give some of the tips and tricks how you consistently at the top of your game since 1981 and this week in January 2026 and February 2026. What supposedly the market is low, but you did incredibly well. I think you closed 5 transactions. You have multiple deals in escrow now, so you are a very very busy man. So why don't you introduce yourself, Stephen? We have so many real estate agents are watching this, and I've been getting so many messages from people. Hey, how can I do well in this market today? And I think there is no other better to show them the pathway other than you, my man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, as you said, I've been doing business for a very long time. I've had my ups and downs, and I learned, and listen to this, I learned that knowledge means nothing if you don't take action. What we have to do in today's real estate world is we need to give the clients a sense of security, a sense that we are working for what they need. Now, it's important to know that when you're working with sellers and buyers, that you as the real estate agent show that you are in control. Why? Because many sellers and buyers, what they plan is many times not so easy. And many agents will spend a lot of times, weeks, even months, and not putting that property into escrow. Why? Because it's not realistic what sellers and buyers want many times. You need to show them how to get in the right path and how you will be there for them as long as they sit there and understand you and they work with you. Because if they work with you, we're going to get the deal done. That is very important. Don't be afraid to have buyers or sellers sometimes walk away, because many times when they walk away, guess what? They come back looking for you. They see the difference between what you have to offer versus a fantasy with other agents many times. So that is one important factor that I see and how I learned how to not be afraid to walk away if they're being unrealistic. And that's totally the truth.
Good stuff, man. Why don't you share your team here today? I see you brought on some amazing people here as to join our show today. So why don't you introduce everybody who's who and what's the role in your team?
Yes, for sure. Since I've been so busy, I don't even have time to work all my leads. So I went ahead and looked forward to Adrian. Adrian is one who's going to be my marketing partner. He knows the computers backwards and forwards. So he's always there to help a hand, whether you're an agent or whether you're a seller or whether you're a buyer. I also have my lender, which is on here. She'll be telling me a little bit about herself. Linda Quinones. She is wonderful. Believe it or not, when she's on vacation, I think that she's out of touch. I leave her a voice message, and guess what? Vacation or no vacation, she responds right away. She
I
makes
do.
it happen. She makes it happen for sure.
Yes, I
So,
do.
yeah.
Awesome, man. Okay, so let's get in the details, Stephen. Many real estate agents are sending message about how did you close 5 transactions in the month of January and February. Let's talk about the source of leads and how you leverage that clients to get more clients and maybe before we do that, Stephen, because you have so many things to share, why don't you talk about your history? Am I right on the introduction when I tell everybody you've been in business since 1981? So can you share philosophically, uh, how did you get started in the business? Share with us the journey and what's the deep, like, what do you see some of the changes, and how do you keep top of the game for so long?
Well, the real estate market has definitely changed. In the beginning, uh, back in the 80s, 90s, it was actually too easy to sell homes. Everybody wanted to be a real estate agent. Everybody had money. I would get a phone call. I would go see the buyer or seller and I would sign them up. I didn't even have to see them for the second time. Many times I would go and the same day open escrow, close escrow within 30 days. However, that started to disappear. Now we have buyers and sellers that are very smart. So what you do, you need to show them why they want to use you instead of someone else, and bring it to today's values. Even before LPT, we had our office design hub. We had a lot of excellent marketing tools. LPT now merged with our previous company, and well, it's unbelievable. We've been working on the marketing side and we've been getting a lot of production out of it. Like Rudy says, in the last actually in the last 45 days, 50 days, I've actually had 5 deals. We've closed them. I got a couple of listings. I have a couple of escrows going on. And honestly, I could not do it without Adrian and without Linda. We have excellent teamwork. Believe me. I mean, there's no time. We will answer the phone day or night, and that's the key there.
All right, let's talk about, you mentioned marketing, the power of marketing to generate the clients and also to get your home sold. And also you talk about leveraging the clients to get more. You mentioned marketing, you also mentioned Adrian and Linda. So why don't you lead the conversation, Stephen? Why don't you talk about, well, Adrian, why don't you share first about what are some of the marketing tools that Steven was talking about just now on how he got the listing sold and some of the marketing material that is available, that he used to continue to grow his business?
Yeah, so I think marketing is so important because I think that's what really makes you stand out as a realtor. And I really think that LBT really allows you to do so other than other firms. I use the Power Mail and the Power Pack. Those are the two main ones that we really focus on. And I think they're wonderful because the Power Pack you essentially get for free. You get for free, and what it does is an all-in-one printing marketing solution that you can give out to your open houses, and you can door knock, you can give them out. So I think it's an excellent way to market yourselves, and it really makes you stand out like in front of others. And Power Mail too. Power Mail is excellent if you want to target households and keep them involved in telling them what you're doing in the business. For example, we closed a property in Yuba River, and how we're gonna really navigate through that is we're not going to stop with just closing. Also going to market ourselves to nearby neighborhoods in order to get more listings and leads.
Adrian, you mentioned a couple of things here. You mentioned Power Pack. You mentioned power tools, and you also mentioned power mails. Many real estate agents, they don't know what you are talking about. And I think you
Yes.
mentioned the
Yes.
best price that every real estate agents love, free.
Yes.
So
Yes.
can you share some of the real life, like, can you show maybe, like, what do you mean when you say when Stephen get a listing, he leveraged the power tools and then the power mails? Is there something you can show so everybody know what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes, of course. And everybody loves free, like you said. So I can share my screen. I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm actually on the marketing page right now, but if you go to properties, let's say the most successful one in the Yuba River where we really implemented it, you press this button. Let me move this up my screen. You press this orange button, add new property, which you put in all the property info for and the pictures for. And I'm obviously not going to do it right now because I already have a listing. But once you do that, it should look like this. To order marketing, you press the big blue button in the bottom. where it says order marketing. And it's really simple. It's going to give you a bunch of options right over here that you can pick. Here's the power mail I was talking about and the power pack I was talking about. But what we really want to focus on is the power pack right now. Um, and what it looks like, let me give you an example. Like this, the classic one is the one I'm talking about where you can get it for free. And you can pick a bunch of power pack categories, or you just listed properties, or an open house or a custom one. And once you selected which one you want to do, let's say for example, what we did is we did it to an open house. So we press next step and you put in all the information over here of when is your open house and what time is it, and AI makes it for you for free. You press this preview button, generate preview, and with the click of, hold on. Yes. You Let me do this. And you fill out the information. Obvious. Oh, because our open house passed already, but you just fill out a date, press generate preview, and AI makes it for you. And just like that, with the click of a button, you see how easy this is? And it makes it so easy for me to really do. I always used to leverage a Facebook marketing place, but that costs, that costs money. Well, this is free and this is so easy to use. It gives you a postcard. It gives you flyers to give out to your clients. It gives you business cards for free. And it's just a helpful accessory to have.
Wow. Not only it's free, Adrian, it looks like you literally do it in a split second.
Yes. Oh, yeah. AI does it all for you, and it's so easy.
So every time Steven get a listing, so basically you are the one that's doing all this.
Yes. Every single time Steven gets a listing, I'm the one that does this right away to make it easy and simple for all of us.
Can you share with everybody what is included in the power, like what is power pack? Like what is it? And how do you leverage that to generate more multiple offers for Steven open house, to generate traffic on his open house, get the listing? So like what's in it? What is inside the power pack?
Yeah, so it comes with large flyers, small flyers, door hangers, thank you cards, folding business cards, double-sided business cards, postcards, and a sign writer. And this is especially useful when you're door knocking in nearby neighborhoods because you can really show them, give them some of these flyers and really show them what you have to offer. And they'll see the premium material that they have in the property power pack, and it's just a special way to market yourself.
So, Stephen, how do you work? So, once Adrian get you all set up with this 188, hey, Adrian, I'm curious. You said it's free, but now we are looking at $99. So, is it free or is it $99?
Oh, it's free. I just uh let me go
It's
back.
free on the first listing, but I guess you already
Yes.
ordered that, right?
Yes, I already ordered it, so it's not going to be free anymore. But when you originally purchased it, then it should say a button that says it's free 00.
I see.
So
Now,
so so the $99 includes what, Adrian? What's the difference between the $99 and being free? I know the free is for originally, but when you continue to use it, what does the $99 cover?
what's
Oh,
inside
99.
that, Adrian? Let's break it down again. What's inside? Maybe you click on it again, Adrian, so everybody can see, which
Yes.
is for
Yes.
$99 and you get all this is basically it's so we get it
Yes.
complimentary for our first, and then if we want to order more 188 printed marketing materials that only costs $99, right?
Yes. If you want to order more.
Now, when you do open house, so are you the one that's going to do these? So before you do your open house, You are canvassing the neighborhoods and you are leveraging your one listing to get more listings. Why don't you, I'm not sure, either you or Linda or Steven, who can talk more about how do you leverage your one listing? How do you promote your open house using the power pack and to generate more people to come to the open house and also to leverage your one listing to get more listing?
Well, we gotta send the postcards out there. We gotta send the flyers out there to the neighborhoods so they can remember us.
Awesome. So,
So so
Steven,
so 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 let me say, when we're working with the marketing, we actually have Linda and Adrian both working on it. They stay in communication with each other, and Linda does a lot of the uh, putting it together along with Adrian, and they help each other so that it's perfect, and then they both make sure it's ready to send out, and then that's where I review it before it goes out, and with my approval, they send out the material.
good stuff, Stephen. Do you, when you show up at the listing appointment, Stephen, do you also share this with the owner of the house? Do you tell the owner of the house that the moment they hire you, immediately you actually have you printed out 188 printed marketing materials to get their home sold? Like how does that communication works between you and the owner of the house?
Well, when I go to a listing appointment, I take my white box because I always have that extra one, and I show them the material. I show them exactly what I have, and the first thing they say, "How beautiful! Oh, it looks so nice." And then I show them, like Adrian said, business cards with their property photos on there. That really gets them excited because I'm using business cards with their property on it. It's exciting for just about any seller or buyer.
Awesome. Now, Stephen, in the last, can you give a little bit background for those people who don't know you? In the number one, however long you are in the business, because people believe some newer some agents who just joined the business not too long ago, they believe digital marketing. Of course, we are also heavy on digital marketing. Later on, maybe Adrian can touch about that. But can you talk about the power of printed marketing materials, the power of having this physical copy, 188 printed marketing materials at your listing appointments, and also how to, as you go around the neighborhoods, can you share the power of printed marketing materials?
Well, being that before this, I used to not use this printed material, so yeah, I have the experience where I see what majority of outside agents use. They use the simple stuff. They use the very thin paper, which I'll call it the cheap paper. However, with this marketing material, for example, when I go door knocking, they see the material that I have, and the material that's used through LPT marketing, you cannot compare it with anything else. You could see the difference immediately. First of all, in the past flyers that I used to make, many times they'll get the flyers and throw it away. This type of marketing, they actually hold on to it. They actually feel it. They actually look at it. It's something where they're not going to throw as easy. And that there alone is a big plus.
Yes, and I'm putting up here on the screen, Stephen. This is what you are talking about just now. So when you show up at the listing appointments, you actually show this. This is actually sitting on the kitchen island table as you are doing your listing presentation.
That's correct.
Awesome. And then Adrian, as you at the moment you get the listing signed, Adrian at your back office actually order it, and then as long as you order it before 1 o'clock Pacific time, LPT, our brokerage mail it out on the same day. What about Linda? Where does Linda come in the picture on this whole thing?
Oh, well, once I'm going to be seeing a client, once I get that lead, I go ahead and introduce Linda over the phone. This way, we do it immediately when they're motivated, and Linda takes over from there. Linda,
Yes, sir.
okay. So once I contact you, what is it that you do?
Well, I make point of contact with the client because obviously these are referrals are coming from Steve, so they're very important for me to attack and address immediately. Because, like Steve said, when someone's hot, you got to bite when they're hot. If you wait a day, if you wait till the end of the day, then you're waiting too long because then they're gonna lose focus, they're gonna lose interest, and obviously, like you all know, in this point in this market, you have to attach immediately. And while the person's hot, while the person that it's a warm lead, so you have to address it immediately. Make the phone call, introduce myself. I'm a lender. I've been in the business for more than 20 years. And Steve's, a lot of Steve's clients are very particular type of clients. One, a lot of Spanish speaking people, a lot of people who are self-employed. So that's where a lot of creative financing comes into play. And making that first appointment, set an appointment, gather the documentation, and then from that point, analyzing who the client is and what their needs are. And then from there, addressing their needs. And many people, they're self-employed. They don't have time to come into me in the office. So one thing that Steve and I do that is very particular and it makes a difference is a lot of times we go to people's homes. We meet at a Starbucks. Maybe someone gets out of work at 7 o'clock at night. We're meeting with clients at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night at a Starbucks. Because again, Steve, what he does is goes above and beyond. And that truly does make a huge difference. Obviously, marketing is very important. But once you get the client, then how are you going to keep the client and close on the deal? That's what I know that Steve does is goes above and beyond, and we really do go above and beyond when it comes to closing deals. Because if you let a client take their time to send you documentation, let me go see if I can scan this document. No, that doesn't always work. Steve and I have done things that we create email addresses for clients so that we can help them with disclosures. I go to people's works and I say, well, let me help you open up a online banking account. So this way I can help you go to your office, help you get your online banking documentation. So again, it does matter how much you do for your client to help close a transaction. Because if you don't do those things that are going to take you above and beyond, then you won't close deals. You'll have deals fall out of escrow. You'll have clients get cold feet. You'll have clients want to maybe work with someone else who does go above and beyond. And we're not going to lose any clients. We do not lose clients. Every transaction that we open is a transaction that's closed. And that's what really does matter. 100%.
Good
Yeah.
stuff, Stephen.
Yeah.
I notice people in your team here, everybody are very on top of their game. Everybody is very sharp and speed, right? Because that's important. Customer care, like Linda was mentioning, we gotta make sure have empathy. We care about the clients because the market, everybody is moving fast. So if you are slow motion, then that's not good. Now, Stephen, how much money? I got a message from real estate agents here in January 2026. Again, for the recording purposes, today is March the 2nd. We are March 2nd, 2026. Happy New Year still. But Stephen, how much money that you make in January and February in the first 2 months of the New Year 2026?
I really, I would say about close to 70,000.
$70,000 net take home income in the first 2 months of 2026. Now, many real estate agents, Stephen, they believe the market is slow and so on and so forth. But if you were to give advice, Stephen, if there are three things, Stephen, if you give three things, many real estate agents are watching your video. They want to make $70,000 in 2 months, just like you. And we still have plenty of time because today is still March the 2nd, 2026. And I know you are helping the next generation. I know you are mentoring Adrian now. Adrian just told me just now when he walked in the office. I asked him, I said, Adrian actually told me, oh my gosh, Steven is really good, right? And that's actually admiring the fact that Adrian, for the people that don't know, it's actually your son, right? So your son actually look up to you and he said, man, Steven is doing very well. I want to be like him one. So the license is coming up. So Steven, many real estate agents are watching this and they are asking how to be successful in this market today. And you've been in business since 1981, and today is January, February 2026. You are making $70,000 in the first 2 months in 2026. If you are to boil down, I know it's hard, but try your best to boil down to your top three things, what would it be?
My top three things that I would suggest to other agents, or are you ready?
Yes.
The top three. Well, first of all, I think the top three things that I would suggest for other agents if they really want to make the production that they know they could do is number one, I would say join our office, LPT. Number two, make sure that you have a great assistant or team member, such as Adrian or Linda, to work with you. And number three, I think is the most important. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. There's been a lot of outside agents, and I mean outside agents from other companies, who call me and they ask me, how do you do this and how do you do that? I am always willing to help outside agents. And no, I do not charge them uh, because what you give out is what it's going to come in. If you're there to help buyers, sellers, and other agents, guess what? When I have offers on other properties, they've accepted my offers many times, and I'm at the highest offer. I just let them know that the deal's going to close. In fact, when I see a great property where it's going to be very, very competitive, I tell them if I don't close it within 30 days, I'll give you $2,000. Or sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. And Linda knows that she's on the timeline because I know a lot of real estate agents who say, oh, no, I'm going to use this lender. They're my friends, or I this. No, I have a lot of friends that are in the business of lending. However, I don't use my friends, or I don't use or I don't use a family unless they're excellent. I go based on business. Business is business, I always say. So if your lender is doing great for you and she goes out of her way, there's no need to change your lender. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Awesome, Stephen. You mentioned about, and we're gonna wrap it up with this, but I just want to share with everybody. So this is, if you'd like to reach out, if you're a real estate agent watching this, and you'd like to reach out to Stephen, this is Stephen's cell phone number. Am I right, Stephen? 323-997-7744.
Correct.
Is this
That's
correct? Okay.
that's
Correct. Yes.
correct. 323-997-7744.
And this is Steven website, stevenaguilar.lpt.com. We don't have time to go through all the details, but Steven is mentioning about step number one. So there are three tips. Number one, you mentioned about the brokerage makes a difference, right? So most real estate agents, Steven, they look at the brokerage is just a place to hang license. So that's not it. So our brokerage, LPT Realty, is actually adding value. So later on, you can go to Stephen website, stevenaguilar.lpt.com. There's a 1 hour video you can watch. But essentially, what Stephen is talking about just now is the listing power tools that's included for free. And it is a one. So Stephen got. And then we have our LPT Connect, the Dotloop, the CRM. You cannot grow a business if you don't have a CRM. The education daily, you have an opportunity to earn stock as well as the rev share. The second thing you mentioned, Stephen, is the people that you hang out with, right? So Linda and Adrian, later on, you can unmute yourself and share from your perspective. Give us some of the hot buttons to help real estate agents to thrive in this market today. And the last thing that you're saying is, what was the last thing you said just now, Stephen? The last thing you mentioned,
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
it's not what you say.
When you speak to a seller or a buyer, I've been told, you know, I've only spoke to you like a few minutes and I already want to work with you. The other realtor has not, he don't sound nothing like you. I've been told that often. And because I have a lot of agents who call me, like I said, and I tell them, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So like if you're new, don't be nervous because you're nervous, you're going to make them nervous. You need to speak with conviction. Excuse my French, but like they say, you have to talk like your shit don't stink.
Good stuff, man. And Adrian, I know you've been watching. Have you been observing? You've been shadowing Steven in real life. So, from your perspective, Adrian, number one, I need two things from you, Adrian. What are some of the things you can help to share to help real estate agent in this market today? But the second thing is, based on your observation, when you hear and when you see Steven going to a buyer's appointments, going to a listing appointments, so what are some of the things that might help other agents to be successful in this market today?
Yeah, I mean, just being persistent, let's say for example, like I go to the gym with my dad, and even at the gym, my dad is constantly marketing himself to people working out next to him, saying, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent," and I mean, not using the term real estate agent, but he's marketing himself out there and making friends along the way. I think what's really important is that they can see whether you want a check or whether you don't, whether you actually want to help them. I think that's what my dad does so well, and what I've been, kind of checking on every single time he's at his buyer's appointment, his listing appointment, and I think that's just so valuable, and it's a way that I can contribute, whether at a public place or even with my family gathering. I can tell them like, oh yeah, I have a listing right here. Um, but I think that's very important because the customers, they can definitely tell whether you're being authentic, and that is the most important in my opinion.
Wow, I love it, Adrian. Being authentic. Can you share a real life example? What when you observe Steven is at the gym just now, right? Give a real life example so people know what you're talking about here.
Exactly. So he wears this. He likes wearing this shirt that says "Ask me about real estate," and I could be working out. And after I'm done working out, I see him next to me in the machine. He's talking to someone. I'm like, Dad, you need to do your set, right? And he's making friends with him. He's not talking as a realtor though. He's making friends, genuine friends with the guy, making them laugh and gaining their trust with his authentic personality. He makes jokes, tries easing them up. So the customer can be more comfortable into, giving his information out.
That is so good, Adrian. That is so good because if most people want something from you, they want to take it away. What you just shared here is that in this business, it's a genuine relationship. Like he truly
Yes.
care about people. He truly. So growing up, Adrian, is it true? First, Stephen never answered my question, but Stephen, can you please confirm that you've been in business since 1981? Is that a true factual statement?
That's a true question. Yeah, true statement. Yeah, you just gave my age away too.
Well, first, how do you how do you look like you are still 40 years old? But anyway, that's a different question. But Adrian, based on your observation, so is your dad, Stephen, always been like he's it seems like because I've known Stephen, when did you join the team? I think about 3, 4 years.
Yeah, no, about 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
So in the last 3 years, Adrian, when I met him 3 years ago, my observation is he's always very sincere and genuine, and he actually like hanging out with people, and he occasionally on random stuff he always send me all these jokes, like you know what I mean. So I know he really. I mean, in the last 3 years, based on my observation, to me, if people ask me how do you describe Steven, to me, one word is funny. I think he's funny. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
like to send me all kind of funny jokes. But Adrian, from your observation in the last growing up, he's been in business since 1981. Is that been consistent? Like, what do you see are his consistent traits since the first time in the business?
Well, he's 100% authentic. Since I was in the womb, he's always been like this. It's very easy to make friends with him, and that's really like his true personality. It's not an act or nothing like that. And it's been enjoyable, just working with him because he brightens the day every single day I work with him, you know, and it's been so easy and it's been so fun.
That is so awesome. How old are you, Adrian?
I'm 18 years old, and actually, I do have my license exam tomorrow morning.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations. Good
Congratulations.
job. What about you, Linda? From your perspective, working, I don't know how long you've been working with Steven, but based on the observation, if you were to, if there are real estate agents, what are some of the advice you can give some of the agents who's watching this? They want to be like Steven. Number one, like I mentioned at the very beginning, consistency is very rare in this business today. You know, the fact that Steven has been in business since 1981 and he always at the top of his game. Again, today is January, February 2026, closing 5 deals, two in escrow. Oh my gosh, that's 7 transactions in the first 2 months in 2026 after being in business for so long, right? And that shows he's consistent and then he's genuine, authentic. And that's from Adrian, which is his son. I mean, that is so admirable to have your son, Stephen. Are you proud, Stephen, to
Oh,
have your
definitely.
son?
Oh, definitely. I'm proud. I always tell him that.
Yeah. So, Linda, from your observation and some of the tips to help other real estate agents, what would it be?
Number one tip would be like Adrian said, to be authentic and to create a relationship. Clients are not clients. Steve makes everyone their friend. People feel so comfortable. They feel at ease. They're not nervous. They're not worried whether the transaction is going to close. They know with certainty that Steven will close the deal because we have the team synergy as well. Clients consider Steve their buddy, their friend. He creates a lasting relationship where he can, even this last week, Steve took a client out to have a nice dinner after closing, and they're laughing and they're calling me, they're sending me pictures, and they're toasting each other. It's a client-based relationship, and that's 100% authenticity. He's a good man, he has a good heart, and he also loves the Lord. And I think all of those things together, they really do create this amazing person who, if you want to be great in real estate, you have to be great as a person within yourself, first and starters. Give your best to your clients, do go above and beyond, and always with a smile, always being the funny guy, always the guy who always like eases up the tension in the room because Steve always cracks a funny joke. So if that's what you got to do, then to crack a funny joke so you make the customer feel comfortable, then that's what you should do. And always, again, be consistent, be fun, be authentic, be your best self, and you will be successful 100%. And follow the LPT system as well, because that is definitely a really good source.
Yeah,
100%.
I used to
Right.
always ask myself like why is my dad buying all these things for my client? I never really understood it. But
Yeah.
if you really look at the bigger picture, it's to build real relationships with them so they can remember you. And I didn't get it until, just growing up a little bit older, when I was a little bit older. And that's what he does. That's what he likes doing. He likes giving.
So you're getting
100%.
your real estate license. You're taking your exam tomorrow, Adrian. What was your big goal in your first 12 months in the business?
And to continue doing what we have been doing these past 2 months and keep it the whole year, sky's the limit for us.
Yeah, man. You
100%.
learn from your dad there. Consistency, right? Most young
Yes.
people now, Adrian, they couldn't do anything more than 10 days, right? So people
Yeah.
get bored easily. So Stephen, I guess maybe that's I know I say it's the last one. Maybe now it's the really last one. How do you keep it positive? How do you keep the consistency? How do you keep yourself from not getting bored? How do you keep yourself keep on going? 1981, Linda, 1981, today's 2026. How many years is that? 1981 to that's like 40 what
That's
40
14 years.
44 years 45 years, right?
Correct. Correct.
So, Stephen, how do you keep yourself motivated 45 years every single day, right? How do you keep yourself sharp? How do you keep yourself educated? Because as you know, the real estate landscape keep on changing, the compliance, the legal, and then today we spend a lot of time on the marketing tools. How do you keep always at the cutting edge? At the cutting edge as far as technology, as far as marketing, as far as knowledge, and how do you keep yourself not getting bored? Because most real estate agents, they get bored with themselves. Most people, they change their script, they change their own buyers and listing presentation because after they do the same thing 3 times, they're like, oh my gosh, am I saying the same thing? Yes, you say the same thing every day for the next 45 years. So how do you keep yourself on the top of your game, Stephen? I guess this is advice for Adrian. If you were to advise Adrian, the next generation, so that he can be at the top of his game, not get bored within the first 10 days in the business, like what would it be?
Well, first of all, uh, for Adrian, I would suggest, since he just starting off, he's going to have to put in his hours. He's going to have to put in a minimum of 8 hours a day. When I just started, I was putting 12 hours a day. And in my first 6 months, I was really productive. My first year, I used to come out of the newspaper. I was a top agent. I used to come out in what we would call La Opinion, the Los Angeles Times. Believe it or not, after a while, um, the market crashed and people asked me to merge with them. And my worst mistake was that I merged with them because it was not the same. However, get down to now, how is it that I don't get bored? It's because you need to find time for yourself. You need to find time for your family. For example, next week I'll be in the mountains with my family. We went ahead and rented a cabin. So my boys and my little girl will be in the mountains, and hopefully the snow's still up there. And then in June we're supposed to go to Cancun. So if you work the system right, you will have money to spend time with your family. However, a drawback is if you start making money right away and you start playing with your friends, you're gonna crash. It's not gonna work for you. That's not consistency. Take a couple of days off every so often, relax, give time for you and your family, and get back on it. Like this week, I've kind of took a little break in between, and right after coming back from the mountains, we're resetting up. Just like I told Adrian and I told Linda, we're gonna start to reset ourselves. But it's always good to take a little break, but don't take a long break because, like they say, if you're pushing a tire, when you start pushing a tire, it's heavy, it's hard. But once that tire starts rolling, it's easy to continue to keep it rolling. But if you stop until the tire stops rolling, you're going to go back to square one. It's going to be hard to continue it. So you don't want to take that long break. It's best to take a couple of in between breaks and re energize yourself. And that's what you have to take for the long haul.
And
That's
It's
basically.
that's
Yeah.
part of what I meant when I say, persistency, because if you really look at the statistics, 75% of real estate agents have not sold a single home in 2025, and that is crazy if you really get to think about it. And people just give up, and our team been persistent through the rough cycles and just stayed patient.
Yep.
I've actually talked to real estate agents. I've been in the business for 35 years, and they say, "Oh yeah, no, it's hard. Oh, it's hard. I'm struggling. I'm struggling." And I tell them, you know what? I tell them it's not hard. You do what you should do. You do what you're supposed to do, and it's busy. I'm so busy. I tell them that I don't even have time to take care of all my sellers and buyers, and they think I'm lying. They don't believe me, and I tell them, look, I said, if you want, we'll meet, and I'll share with you what I do. And usually you could tell them, like they say, you could tell people what to do, but they don't do it.
And Stephen, you are building your team now. You actually are experiencing an overflow of business, and you are building your team. What is the best number again? So, real estate agents are watching this. They want to partner up with you. What is the best way to reach out to call you?
The best way is to text me and call me. And again, my contact information is 323-997-7744. Oh, and also what I want to say is, you hear that, yeah, I joke around, I make them feel good. One thing you cannot do is you cannot joke around with somebody who's serious. You need to know how to read personalities. That's number one. Number one, the minute you meet a buyer or a seller, your first thing is to do, look at the body language, look at the way they speak, look if their eyes are rolling left or right. You need to know how to connect with sellers and buyers. It's not always fun. There's a lot of buyers who, oh, believe me, their personality don't match with me at all. However, my personality becomes their personality. You need to mirror and match, and that's the key. There's some people who you just straight out. You just be like my son went with me uh 2 weeks ago. Went with me to meet a seller. And that's the one on Grand, Adrian. And I was glad that he went with me because that seller was tough. That seller was tough. She went straight out. Hey, you got the buyer, and you're representing me, the seller. I ain't paying you for the buyer. And she was so set and dead on. I ain't paying you for the buyer. Adrian saw that I did not get nervous. I knew where she's coming from, and we closed the deal in 10 days. Escrow just closed. So
Awesome.
you have to know how to read personalities.
Awesome. Congratulations. We learned so much today from Stephen. Number one, the last one, you are talking about the concept of DISC. You are talking about treat other people the way they would like to be treated. And the second thing, just now, we learned from you about the power on marketing, how to leverage the marketing system so that you can grow your business. We talk about the team concept today. You are building your team, and the best way to build your team is when you have an overflow business. You talk about mindset, persistency. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Stephen, again, congratulations for all your successes. All of us here, we admire you. You've been in business since 1981. You open up the doors for all these next generation young real estate agents, right? Without people like you actually go through all these challenges. You have been in business before there's an MLS. Am I right?
That's correct.
You exist longer than the MLS. Not too many people can do that. That's actually amazing. So, once again, Stephen, thank you for sharing all your success. And I'm looking forward for Adrian here, the next gen, right? And Linda and Adrian, thank you so much. Make it a great day, everybody. Go serve big.